Bum 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 bum. The Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum. Please continue to pray for some success with my Lego ideas project. This is a Japanese capsule hotel. It's since been demolished a few years ago. But it had 120 or so capsules. See, I wish we had more housing like that in the United States. What really sucks as a single guy is that I have to compete for the same kind of units that a couple, or even a couple with a kid, might live in, right? And I don't need all that much space, right? But right now I'm living in a studio apartment. I think a lot of couples live in studio apartments these days. It's kind of unfortunate, but it's all right if you're close to whoever you're with, right? After all, if you're forced to share a bedroom, is that really the end of the world, right? If you're forced to spend more time close together, what really sucks is me having to compete on the same market as people who have two incomes to pay for that home, right? So, as you guys know, I've been dating a distant cousin of Eve Curry. She lives with her brother and their mom, a single mother, but they're all working, right? I think she's 28 years old. Her brother is 25 years old, and their mother lived together. And so they really have three incomes to take care of that household, but it's not a whole lot bigger than the kind of housing situation that I might look for. And so I just end up in an unfair competition kind of situation, right? Some of the students that I teach here at Glenwood Community College and some other schools that I've taught at, some live with their significant others, right? And I end up having to compete with them or some of my colleagues. You get the idea, right? And if I didn't have to compete in the same market as them, I think I could tolerate that a lot more, right? I don't know why we don't have housing like this more so here in the Phoenix area. That's why I want to create a Lego build of that to kind of popular. And even in Japan, they had to take it down for whatever reason. And granted, it was 50 years old. But pray for that. If I hit it big with Legos, maybe I won't complain so much about the situation anymore. Unfortunately, I have to revise my Taipei 101 build a little bit. Lego complained that there wasn't enough detail and all that. But what I'm hoping to do is, it's kind of a numbers game, right? This year, I hope to submit 100 Lego ideas up for vote, right? And hopefully one or two of them will make it to the 10,000 likes mark, right? But it's not hard for me. I'm creating one of these like every couple of days nowadays. I think the hardest part is the revision part to get it accepted into the program. But it's just like my dating situation, right? I just shoot out for a big number and then hope that a few of them stick, right? And so that's been my goal as of late. Unfortunately, it doesn't come for free, right? It comes at the expense of all the sleep deprivation, the eating disorder problems. I'm really in a no-win situation. I want to get in a state where, see, a few years ago, actually more like 6 years ago now, I was in Macau, and Macau's a gambling town. And this guy, I want to say he was younger than me. Was betting like $1,000 a hand on blackjack, and I got sick watching it. And I wouldn't do, even if I had $1 billion, I probably wouldn't do that. But I do wish that I had money to not think about a lot of stuff. Maybe not for gambling, but I wish that I didn't have to think very hard about my living situation and whether or not I take a vacation this summer. Yeah, it's a big thought, right? For example, this summer I want to go to Taiwan, but I also want to go somewhere cooler to cool off. I don't like hot weather, and so it's a dilemma, right? If I had $1,000 I had to throw at blackjack, that might not be that big of a decision anymore. Right? I'll just fly to Taiwan, and then I'll also fly to Wallace, Idaho, and maybe to Poland as well, right? It wouldn't be that big of a thought anymore, right? But unfortunately, I have to think very hard about that, right? That's why I want you guys to pray for my Lego project. Another thing I'm hoping to do is I don't know why, but after I built a couple of skyscrapers, I got fascinated with the idea of building every skyscraper in the world and putting it all together as kind of a Lego Earth, right? I don't know. I don't know why I suddenly got that thought in my head the other day. Obviously, not all of the Lego piece models are the same scale. Right, this one's a lot bigger than the other ones that I've been doing, just because the building's a lot shorter. Uh, all right. Please continue to pray for me. By the way, when I was in Macau, and the guy was betting $1,000 a hand in blackjack, and I was practicing my card counting. He had gotten the guy I was watching on his very first hand. He had just walked in, and there was a new table had opened. He got dealt a 14, a 10, and a 4. And I told him, "Did you know 4's unlucky? It sounds like death." He was like, "Shut the fuck up." And the dealer had a 10 up. And so in my mind, 4 is good for the future of the deck, right? Because 4 is a small card, you want that out of the way. So it's a +1, but the two 10s are -1 each, so it's a -1 already. And before I could react, the dealer flips over a blackjack. He had an ace underneath the whole card. And so now the count's at -2, and the guy had lost like about $1,000 if I remember correctly. And then he places another $1,000 bet on the table. And I'm thinking to myself, gee, the shoe's at a -2. Even if you want to bet another $1,000, how about you get up and go to the bathroom and then go to a different table at least, right? That's what I'm thinking in the back of my mind. But this guy has money to throw away. He could care less about that, right? So I just wish I had money to throw around. Not that I would throw it around, but I wish I didn't have to worry so much, right? This is the Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum. The Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum.